Welcome to I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom from Dollar Shave Club, where we explain something very complicated in mere minutes to occupy your brain while you shave. In this edition, we'll be discussing the weirdest space junk orbiting the Earth, as explained by someone who sounds smart because he's British.
Despite being fun to say, space junk is actually an enormous problem. Earth's orbit is rapidly filling up with bits and pieces of leftover garbage, with an estimated 500,000 pieces currently zooming around the planet at speeds of nearly 4 miles per second. At those speeds, even a piece of junk an inch wide has the power to completely destroy a satellite. Which is why the Department of Defense's US Space Surveillance Network keeps very careful tabs on anything over 4 inches, of which there are currently around 21,000.
Yikes! So what is all this space garbage made of? Old banana peels and used tissues?
Not quite. Most of it is made up of fragments of things like, destroyed satellites. In 2009, for example, Russian satellite Cosmos 2251 and American satellite Iridium-33 collided, creating more than 2,000 of these larger fragments and hundreds of thousands of smaller ones. It was, in every sense, an absolute disaster.
So is all of it made up of exploded satellites?
No, there's some much stranger stuff out there. Some of it's just stuff you'd expect might get lost by astronauts working in space. Various implements, from pliers and tool bags to a spatula, have been reported lost. Funnily enough, the very first American to walk in space, Ed White, lost his glove out there, which orbited the Earth for a month before burning up in the atmosphere, something that sadly doesn't always happen, hence the problem.
But you said there was also weird stuff.
Oh yes, pee for one. Before we had the technology to efficiently recycle pee into drinking water, it used to just get flushed into space, where it would instantly crystallize, catch the sunlight, and, by all accounts, look absolutely beautiful.
Charming. Are there any, bodies in space?
No. All those who've perished in space have thankfully had their bodies recovered. But there are certainly plenty of ashes. Although the most famous person to have had their ashes shot into space was Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry, he was actually just one of hundreds to have had a space burial, ranging from NASA scientists to philosopher and LSD enthusiast Timothy Leary.
So there's, cremated remains just floating around in space now?
Not as such. The ashes are kept within the spacecraft, where they either orbit the Earth and then, by design, burn up in the atmosphere, or they continue on to their destination. Scientist Eugene Shoemaker, for example, had his ashes scattered, or perhaps exploded might be a better word, on the Moon as part of the mission of the probe carrying his remains. Then there's Clyde Tombaugh, the man who discovered Pluto. A portion of his ashes are held inside the New Horizons spacecraft, the one that recently gave us all those amazing photos of the planet. If it is a planet this week. Next up, he'll be flying right out of the solar system, where he'll become the first human being ever to travel outside of our galaxy, albeit in, powder form.
Today, I learned that outer space is full of dead guys and pee.
Tune in next time for more I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom. And in the meantime, head to dollarshaveclub.com for more podcasts and a big old pile of grooming products.